Don Carpenter on Newsradio 1270 and 106.7 FM KIML.
Newsradio 1270 KIML, Don Carpenter Show. I was serious about that too. my solution to the Missouri thuggery. I'm not even going to call it protest. Actually, I have a better solution. We'll get to our football picks here in a second. Hold on a second here. Okay. Let's see. Here is how you solve this problem.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Okay.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Have you ever been to Columbia?
Oh yeah, many times actually.
It's no one would miss it. Well, I mean, it's just a stop between Kansas City and St. Louis, with a terrible school, with a terrible football team. I would have kicked every kid off that football team, every one of them. They're 5-4. You don't deserve a job anyway. If you're gonna pull that kind of crap, we'll just bring in walk-ons. Walk-ons would probably do a better job. Okay, I just had to get that out of my system. Okay, so since we didn't get a chance to finish our picks, I figured we'd spend the first segment of the last hour finishing our NFL picks, because I know next couple of days are going to be really busy for you. So, by the way, when do you go down to Laramie?
I'll be headed down tomorrow night. The game's Saturday afternoon.
Game is Saturday. That's right. It's a Saturday game. Let's see what the weather's going to be like on Saturday.
It is going to be, as of yesterday,
60 degrees,
46 and sunny down in Laramie.
Oh, so a little
around
chilly.
Kickoff. So yeah,
a little chillier down.
But boy, not like last year. Last year was about, I think, 16 degrees, and the field was nothing but ice.
That stadium, and I've never been. Well, let's see. The coldest game I ever went to at that stadium was it was 22 at game time. So by the end of the game, it probably was in the teens. That was a miserable game. I can't even imagine playing in that. with that field turf, with that plastic field turf, it's probably like playing on concrete. So it should be a good day for a game.
Yeah, we shouldn't see any ice.
Well, hopefully. Well, you never know. I mean, you never know what could happen.
It might be blizzard conditions.
It is Wyoming.
Yeah, in Wyoming, snow just appears when it's not supposed to.
Snow, wind, tornadoes, it doesn't matter. Right? They just show up whenever. But have a safe trip down there. I noticed the Star Tribune. They made their picks. Their sports experts made their picks. Surprisingly, and I say surprisingly in an ironic fashion, no one picked Gillette. Everyone picked Sheridan.
That makes,
I mean, look, Sheridan has a chance of winning.
A good football team, but
one person doesn't pick. Come on.
You're talking about a team that when they came up here, Gillette turned it over 5 times and still beat them.
Yeah.
So I understand people. It's not a dumb pick to pick Sheridan to win,
but
everybody everybody picks them. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, look, I know it's Casper, and I know they have to pander to their readers, but come on. I mean, I know the rest of the state hates us, but geez, it's not like we're the New England Patriots. Okay, so where did we leave off? I think we left off at Dallas and Tampa Bay.
Nope, we did Carolina and Tennessee.
Carolina and Tennessee.
So now we're at Chicago, St. Louis.
So I picked Carolina. Yeah. You picked Carolina. Although I think that might be an entertaining game. Okay, Chicago at St. Louis. This is a tough one to pick.
I agree.
Chicago is getting better, but it's going to be a slow process. I think it's going to. I mean, you said next year. I'm thinking it might even be a 2-year process for Chicago to be a real legitimate contender. St. Louis looked better earlier in the season, but they've kind of plateaued.
Their offense is bad. St. Louis's offense is horrible.
Except for Todd Gurley.
But other than that, man, and he's good, but they can't put up points.
Yeah, Todd Gurley does everything for that team.
St. Louis should have earlier in the season, they had a real chance to beat Pittsburgh, but because their offense was so bad, they couldn't do it. They had their defense kept them in the game last week. They should have beat Minnesota on the road, and they're just horrible offensively.
Well,
so that's why I almost picked Chicago, but I decided I'm going to go with the home team, pick the Rams.
The more Rams games that I see clips from, the smarter I think Chip Kelly might have been getting rid of Nick Foles. Although Bradford's starting to play better.
Right.
Philadelphia's starting to look better. As bad as Philadelphia looked at the beginning of the season, they're probably going to win that division.
I could see that. They're going to contend with the Giants.
It's either going to be the Giants or the Eagles. Okay, so I did pick St. Louis just because they're at home. Two just mediocre teams. New Orleans at Washington. Speaking of mediocre teams.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of the Saints, but I tell you what, every time, because I thought the Saints were going to be bad this year, and every time I pick against them, they rise up and they win.
And they score 60 points.
So they'll probably win because I'm picking Washington.
Yeah, they're
at home.
This one, Washington's not that bad.
Cousins is going to throw for, I'm going to say he throws for almost 400.
This is going to be another shootout because neither team wants to play defense. He's going to be coming into the locker room. How do you like that? How do you like that? Except
you like it.
You like it. You like it. Except this time he's going to be on the losing side. He's going to throw 4 and Drew Brees is going to throw 5.
They're going to have big days.
Yeah.
In fact, I would not be surprised. I don't know how many times this has happened. They might both get 400 yards throwing, Brees and Cousins.
Yeah, easily. Well, it just happened a couple weeks ago.
Where both quarterbacks did it?
Yeah, the game with the Giants.
Oh, that's true.
Brees threw 7, Eli threw 6. Eli threw for 406, and Brees threw for 507. Neither team wants to play defense on that one. Miami at Philadelphia. The Dan Campbell spell is over in Miami.
Yeah, back to reality.
Back to reality. They're bad.
and Philadelphia's getting better each week.
They're getting pretty good. I mean, they have the talent. It's just taking a little while to gel together. It's a weird system. We all know that. At least they're not running the play clock like they did last year.
Right.
So at least they got over that. You watch a Philadelphia Eagles game, it's like watching a normal game. Maybe that's what the Eagles need to do every year, just so we don't hear about Chip Kelly more than the team. They need to lose their first 3 games. And then people think they're bad, and then they end up winning 10 or 11 anyway.
Right.
Okay, so Philadelphia wins that one, right?
Yes,
okay.
Of course.
Not a whole lot of disagreements here. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. This is tough because Pittsburgh is on their 3rd-string quarterback, but the Cleveland Browns have one chance of winning, and they refuse to do it.
We're going to play Manziel?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty bad when Johnny Manziel is your last hope.
Yeah.
But Johnny Manziel is their last hope, and for some reason, they refuse to play him.
I'd probably pick the Browns if he was playing.
Yeah, I'd give it a thought.
I'm picking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's not even going to be close. Jacksonville at Baltimore.
This is an interesting one. I don't think, like I've always said all year, Baltimore, you look at their record, it looks bad, but they're only a couple players away from being pretty good again. So I think they beat Jacksonville. They're just more talented.
And every single loss has been a close one.
Right.
Here, and the 2 wins have been really close, too. I mean, they just play close. Here's the thing with Jacksonville, and this could be a trap game for the Ravens. When Jacksonville comes to Baltimore, or Baltimore goes to Jacksonville, for some reason, it's always a close game. Even last year when the Ravens were really good, Jacksonville gave them all that they could handle. Having said that, if you have Blake Bortles on your fantasy team, start him.
Right.
He's going to throw for a ton of yards. He probably won't get a lot of touchdowns, but he's going to get a ton of yards because the Baltimore secondary, I don't even know who's playing there anymore. I don't know. I mean, it could be, they might have just gone down to the the prison at Jessup and recruited a couple guys because I have no idea who plays defense for them anymore. So all that said, Joe Flacco, I'd still take him over Bortles. So
it might be a shootout.
It could very well be a shootout. It could very well be a lot of offensive mistakes, a lot of stats, but no points.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of different things. I mean, it could be a rainout for all we know. I mean, I have no idea.
I predict a tie. I'm going to highlight both teams to predict a tie for this one.
Someone did that a couple years ago and actually got the tie. I think Wallum did it, and he actually got the tie.
Wallum.
This
guy.
It was just one of those things. The Ravens will probably win, though.
What'd you do? Give him 2 wins for that?
No, he picked.
I feel like if you predict a tie and nobody wins, you should get 2 points because you picked both teams right.
He picked, if I remember right, and I could be wrong in my recollection here. My memory's terrible. I think I just gave him the single win. He picked a tie. It was a tie. You get a win. Maybe from now on you'll get extra points. And everybody.
Well, I'm just thinking if you picked Minnesota,
that is a rare thing.
And it's lower chances of you winning, but you picked both teams correctly if they both tie.
Now, if this were for money, obviously a tie is a very, very high odds,
right?
And probably 20 or 30 to 1 most games. Okay.
He didn't mean to do that.
It might have even been somebody else, but I'm just thinking he's probably the one that did it. Let's see. Minnesota at Oakland. Now, this one was tough for me because I forgot that Minnesota was 6-2.
Yeah.
The Raiders are pretty good. The Minnesota Vikings are a good team. How this happened, I have no idea.
They are. They've got, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. Their offensive line's better than people thought, and their defensive line's better than people thought. And when you do that, it makes everyone around you better.
Well,
and so
it's the Trent Dilfer method of winning.
Yeah.
Score more points than the other guy does.
Now, if Bridgewater what's his status?
He's playing.
He's going to play.
Last I heard, let's.
That's what I thought I heard as well, but I guess we're not sure on that because to me, I'd probably still go with Minnesota, but I definitely think about it. I think Oakland really needed that win last week against Pittsburgh. I think they had a really good opportunity, and they just couldn't do it. And so I think they're kind of down in the dumps, and Minnesota's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater passed all of his concussion stuff, so that was I don't know if it was a dirty hit. It was borderline dirty.
It was just late. Yeah, it was a late hit. It's hard to slow your momentum down.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame the coach on that.
It slid kind of late.
Well, let's talk about
these quarterbacks have to quit. I'll talk about it. Quit sliding so late, and then you're going to whine about it when you get hit. Look, you can't. That's not how it works. It's not, I'm going to slide. I feel like some of these quarterbacks are trying to slide late, try to get a penalty. Well, okay, go ahead and do that. You get knocked out, I don't want to hear from you.
Well, and
to be fair, I haven't heard from Bridgewater. Yeah, of course.
Bridgewater's not the problem.
Right.
Zimmer was the problem. And then mentioning Jeff Fisher, which I've never heard anything like that about Jeff Fisher. Never have.
And you should never slide when there's people close to you, ever.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about Bridgewater, and we knew this when he was coming out of college, he's a little guy. I mean, he had to bulk up to break 200 for the combine. If I had to guess, he's probably under 200 pounds again. He's probably 190 pounds. He's, I think, 6'2", 6'1", something like that. He's a little guy.
And by the way, in the NFL, there's a weird rule. I'm pretty sure, unless they changed it, but a quarterback can just go down forward, and they're not going to be able to dogpile on you. They can't just run and hit you. So you don't have to slide necessarily. You could be running, and if you think he's too close where he's going to hit you as you slide, you could just fall forward. And if he still jumps on you and gives you a good whack, he's going to get the penalty.
They give him.
In fact, that's not even a quarterback rule. That happened last year. It happened to Jamal Charles.
They give you more. They give you more leeway when you're falling. They give the defenders more leeway when you fall forward.
Right, and basically what's going to happen, because nobody wants to get a penalty, they're going to come up and touch you.
Yeah.
So you're down by contact.
Right. So it's one of these things.
So these quarterbacks have to get smarter. Quit sliding and getting hurt. You're sliding too late.
And I think it was just one of those freak plays that just happens. I mean, I don't think it was that bad. I mean, he'll get a fine, which, you just pay the fine and move on.
These coaches, they don't do the game any justice when they come out, and some of the players do it too, when they come out and talk about dirty hits. Look, you're playing a violent game. If you're out complaining about a hit like that, you wouldn't have made it in 70s football, folks, because everybody played dirty back in those days, and nobody whined about it either.
Who was it that did the eye gouge last week? Was it
Aqib
Talib? That's a dirty hit.
That's a dirty thing.
Okay, you walk up to a guy after play's over and you poke him in the eye. That's dirty.
Right.
That's
uncalled for.
That's worth a bit of a fine.
Right.
And Talib, he got a game for that too, didn't he? I think so.
Did he get a game?
I think so.
I know he got a pretty good fine.
Yeah, but I mean, eye gouges out of bounds.
But any type of hit in football, that is not dirty.
Yeah, at least not intentionally.
Well, right.
If he intentionally dropped an elbow on Teddy Bridgewater's head, then I'd say do something about it. But that was pretty clean.
Well, in fact, most of the time, if you're going to actually be dirty and malicious, you're going to hit him in the knee. Yeah,
that's the point. That's the point. If you want to hurt somebody, you take out their knee. Okay. Not that we should do that. Well, maybe. Not that we're suggesting that people take out knees, but if you're a player that wants to play dirty and you want to get banned from playing whatever sport it is, go for the knee.
Or just do what Ndamukong Suh does and just stomp people when they're down.
Or kick them.
Except for this past year, he didn't. That was nothing. But the last few years.
Step on their hands.
Yes.
How is he still in? Well, he still plays because he's good. Well, he's not that good. I mean, I think the next time he does something like that, he might.
He's a throwback.
He is a throwback, not in a good way. Okay.
He'd be a perfect Raider in the 70s.
Or even the 80s Broncos.
Good point.
Can you imagine Ndamukong Suh and Romanowski?
Yeah.
Oof. One would spit on you, the other one would stomp on you.
And they'd probably fight each other during the week.
Probably. That would be a good reality show.
It would be.
Hard Knocks with Ndamukong Suh and Bill Romanowski. Need to do that. They're both, Romanowski's retired. They're different generations, but I
want them roommates.
I want these guys living in the same house and just have another third roommate that just instigates stuff.
Yeah. You would be perfect for DC,
I would take
Romanowski, and Ndamukong Suh.
And I would have in the living room, I'd have a plexiglass box, like a penalty box, except it'd be covered on the top.
Oh, you mean like how Michael Cole used to have when he was a heel announcer?
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking of. And I would go in the box, and there would be a loudspeaker on the outside so they could hear me. And then I would just start instigating stuff.
I could see you.
They couldn't get to me, but they could get to each other.
You get home, and you're pulling. You're like, oh, look at this, a burrito wrapper. Oh, get this, Sue. Rome ate your burrito. He knew you wanted it, too.
Hey, Romanowski, Sue took your special medicine.
Uh-oh. Somebody finished off somebody else's protein powder.
Yeah, protein powder. Yeah, that's it.
Uh-oh. Oh, look, he's using one of your needles.
Yeah. Well, he needs to gain a little lean weight anyway. Okay, so call me. If anybody has a TV production company and you want to do the Bill Romanowski and Ndamukong Suh reality show with me as the instigator, I'm available weekends. Except for WrestleMania weekend.
I'd watch that show.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch it.
That show would rank right up there with I'm with Busey. You remember that show? That's a classic show. That show should get more recognition. I think it was on for one season probably, but the guy just follows Gary Busey around. Beautiful, beautiful TV.
Okay. Well, and we're getting completely derailed here, but I've got nothing else. We'll finish the picks here in a second. Have you seen this? And the only reason I see this is because it's on after the WWE Divas reality show, which I don't watch. My girlfriend watches.
Of course you don't watch it. I watch it in slow motion.
So I think it's on E Network or one of these networks that only shows reality shows.
You know what station it's on.
Well, I know Divas is on E Network. I think this one's on E Network. It's I think it's called Crisley Knows Best.
Oh, it's on USA.
Oh, it's on you. It's on
After Raw sometimes.
Oh, it's on After Raw. Okay, I knew it was somehow related to wrestling, as far as the dial position. What does this guy do? Nobody. I mean, I looked him up on Wikipedia. It just says he was formerly a millionaire, but they live in a giant house. They go on these big vacations, so I guess he's still a millionaire. But I can't figure out what this guy does for a living and why he's famous.
I don't know either. I watched about 15 minutes after Raw once of that show, and I'm thinking, I thought the same thing. What is this guy? It seems like he's a fashion. I thought he worked in fashion or something.
Okay.
Or maybe had a magazine. I don't know.
Well, let's address the obvious thing about this show in a way that would be inoffensive. The guy's got a wife and kids. We'll just say the way he talks and the way he dresses and the way his house looks, the way he acts about certain things. I'm not quite sure how he had a wife and kids.
Well, he calls himself a metrosexual, I believe.
Well, I'm just saying
he
that
takes care of himself.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
but
to an extreme manner.
I have no idea. Nobody knows anything about this guy.
Yeah, it's really odd.
I mean, the wife and kids look like him.
He's funny. I'll give him that.
Well,
it's kind of funny.
I mean, he's in a Nathan Lane kind of way. I mean, if you like that kind of Nathan Lane's funny. But I'm not even gonna lie about that one. But okay, now that I got that off my chest, we're just everywhere with this one.
I don't know. I got to figure out what this guy does now.
Well, hang on a second. Kill some time while I do some research.
It's DC research time. What we need to do? We need to find some music. When you have to do some research, it just plays like the Jeopardy theme.
The Jeopardy theme. That's exactly what
it has to be something like this. Okay. There, I just did it.
It just says now the description just says it features millionaire Todd Crisley and his family.
It doesn't even say what he does.
They live in Roswell, Georgia, north of Atlanta. And then it has who produces the show and the ratings and all that. And
I feel like he just inherited money and did nothing.
Well, but I don't know. I mean, he could be old money. That's possible. I mean, there's that's the part of the country where there's a lot of old money. But you think there would be? Well, let's see. I can click on his name, and you click on the guy's name, and it redirects right back to the page for the reality show. So this guy is famous for having a reality show, and that's it.
That's interesting.
Let's see. Okay. Hold on again.
Maybe he tried to be an actor or something, and he found this break to be on a reality show. They said, "Hey, let's put your family on this." I don't know.
Well, apparently one of the top searches when you put in Todd Crisley is, what does Todd Crisley do for a living?
So you're not the first one that's tried to figure this out.
No, apparently not.
Oh boy.
Let's see. He said he had.
Maybe he's a robot.
He said he would spend some of his money to open a department store, but he didn't get his money from a department store. They've never explained what he does for a living on the TV show.
Isn't that weird? That's strange. Very odd.
Let's see. Apparently, he went through bankruptcy at some point. But everything.
So he's probably had some sort of business, I would imagine.
Okay. Asset man. Oh, he was a real estate hustler. Okay.
Oh, we found it.
He was a real estate hustler and went. Oh, and he. Let's see. He was. Yeah, it looks like he was a real estate hustler and went bankrupt.
So apparently he doesn't know best.
Well,
when it comes to real estate
and handling money. Okay, so we got to the bottom of that one, but there's still some other mysteries that we'll just have to leave.
Jeez, I should have a reality show if he has one. Oh. I mean, it would be like an hour of like I'm shirtless, Cheeto crumbs on my chest.
You want in on the Romanowski and Ndamukong show?
I'm in on that.
You can be the referee?
Sure, I'll wear a referee shirt.
Okay.
I'll probably wear the referee skirt.
Okay, so we got Ndamukong Suh, and we got Bill Romanowski, two dirtiest players in the history of the NFL, and
us.
Nothing could go wrong.
Now, what if they both turn on me? Were you going to get out of your box and help?
No.
Or?
No, the box is to protect me. There's only enough room for one person. Get your own plexiglass protection box.
I'll just play like I'm some sort of butler.
And I also know not to wear a tie because you can get pulled out through the hole in the box with a tie.
I'll get another lesson learned from Michael Cole.
Yeah, well, Michael Cole is very informative. Okay, we got to finish these picks. We're going to spend the entire hour talking about nothing but the actual picks.
We've ran the gamut. We've talked Ndamukong Suh, Bill Romanowski, a reality show involving both, and involving you, and maybe I'm a butler in it. And we've talked Chris Lee Knows. Who would ever thought on the Don Carpenter Show we're talking about Chris Lee Knows Best?
Just been biding my time to bring that one up.
Good research, by the way. I got to hand it to you in this one segment. You found out.
I'm pretty quick on the Google.
By the way, they try to hide that.
That's why
that was hard to find.
Well, I had to go through 3 or 4 links to actually find what he actually did.
Wow.
I guess they don't really want people to know that he was a real estate hustler.
Wow.
That went broke several times. Okay, so where do we leave off in our picks, which is why we're here in the first place?
We're at New England. Or wait, did you pick Minnesota, Oakland? Did we ever pick that one?
I picked Oakland.
I picked Minnesota.
Okay. Let's see. New England at the New York Giants. This one's in MetLife Stadium. The Giants, I know it's a different team. I know, but for some reason, Eli has their number. I'm just going to say the Giants.
I'm with you 100%. And usually throughout history, if a team just continuously beats another team, it gets in their head. I know New England's really good. That's going to be in the back of their mind. I think they're going to press a little bit, and the Giants are going to win.
Well, the Patriots are obviously a better team,
but the Giants aren't. Giants are
pretty good, and they have several different things they can do. And one of the things, and everybody says this about the Patriots, is they take away your best tool. They're going to take away Odell Beckham. Or they're going to try to. I don't think anybody really takes him away completely. But Eli Manning just knows how to beat the Patriots.
And you know what? And I think it's more than that. I think Tom Coughlin and his coaching staff, they know how to prepare for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. I don't think a lot of other teams have figured that out yet, but they know how to approach him.
Jason Pierre-Paul is going to have that oven mitt upside Tom Brady's head the entire game.
I'm predicting a Pierre-Paul interception with the oven mitt. No, not even 2 hands. He's going to reach up and grab it with the mitt, and we're all going to wonder how that happened. You watch, a pick 6.
I'll be a little bit more realistic in my prediction. I'm just going to guess that he's just going to run up to Brady and just smack him over with the oven mitt. Okay, Kansas City at Denver. Denver will have a hard time with Kansas City. They always do.
I do. And I think the Chiefs, 1, they're off of a bye week. So you got Andy Reid. He's very good off of bye weeks. 2, they're very confident. They finally got over the hump, got 2 straight wins. 3, they're one of the few teams in the NFL that can actually get to Peyton Manning. Because the Broncos' offensive line's pretty good. The Chiefs can get to him. However, it's in Denver. So I have to go with logic and pick the Broncos. But I think it's going to be really close.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if the Chiefs pull it out.
13-10, something like that. Okay, Arizona at Seattle. Arizona, I know you don't think they're the real thing. I know you think that they're not even going to win that division. I say they beat Seattle pretty handily.
I think Seattle makes a statement, and I'll make another bold prediction. The Seahawks don't lose again for the rest of the year.
Okay.
They win out to the – and I'm not saying they win to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you they win out the regular season. They will not lose one more game in the regular season. That's my bold prediction.
Interesting.
They spank Arizona. They're going to beat them bad.
Like a rented mule.
Well, beat them bad like Seattle can. So it's going to be like 30-10 or something.
Okay.
I'm not saying 50-5.
See, I think it's going to be the other way around. Houston at Cincinnati.
Wow. Well, this game is going to be fun.
There were ESPN's like, please, can we just flex out Monday night? we don't want this game. Cincinnati's going to kill Houston.
It's going to get that is not a good matchup for the Texans.
No. And Cincinnati, again, they'll lose I would not be surprised if Cincinnati goes 16-0 and loses in the first round. Lose 49-0 to whoever the wild card is.
I wouldn't either. We've talked about it before, and it doesn't matter what sport.
I guess it'll be the second round because they get a bye.
Let's look at the Bengals realistically. I like what you say about them because, yeah, they're one of the best teams regular season-wise, but it's just like any other sport. Most teams aren't in between.
Yeah.
Most teams in the playoffs, for whatever reason, in the NFL, Major League Baseball, and NBA, they're either good in the postseason or they're bad in the postseason. Yeah. There's not a lot of in-between. Cincinnati's just bad in the postseason.
Well,
sometimes things are just unexplainable.
And this might be the year they prove me wrong, but I've been right about the Bengals for the past 30 years.
I doubt it. They're not going to prove you wrong.
Probably not. Probably not. Okay, so there we go. There's our picks. Thanks for coming in for the final hour. I know you don't have to go to the other stations for the 9 o'clock hour, so I figured we'd just wrap these up today, and then we can do some other stuff tomorrow. I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back. News Radio 1270, 106.7, KIML.
The best interviews, always. Don Carpenter on News Radio 1270 and 106.7 FM, KIML.